Are we live? We are live. In today's video, this is going to be the last stream of the year 2021. We're closing 2021 with a bang. I'm actually very excited about this stream because we're going to learn some games. Is it possible to turn a simple skills into several thousands in revenue? We're talking about high figures in 100,000, 500,000, or even $1 million. Is that even possible? We're going to discuss about all that. You know how we do it. It's all about wealth engineering. We're going to discuss about all that coming up after the intro.
Hey, yeah. It's all about wealth engineering. Might be something that you're not used to. It's okay, cause I'm here to introduce you to concepts. Time to grow and make big moves. All about crypto, come see. Stocks and business, yes indeed. Got the info that you need. Hosted by my homie JC. Hey, yeah. Wealth engineering. Stacking and stacking it up. It's time to generate wealth. Till you living like Scrooge McDuck. Hey, wealth engineering. It's time to show you the game. Till you living like Richie Rich. Till you ballin' like Bruce Wayne. Hey, you ain't gotta be an expert, no problem. It don't really matter where you at, just start it. It'll take time, hard work, and
What's up? This is JC, and welcome to the Wealth Engineering Podcast. If you are new here, I create content to help millennials and Gen Z and motivate them. I like to motivate them on increasing their net worth, retire early, and build generational wealth. So, if you have started your financial journey or you're thinking about starting it, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell. This is going to be the last stream of the year. We had many streams this year, guys, where we invited guests on the platform and they are letting us know about hacks, about secrets that in the industry that we may not hear every day. And that's one of the things I love about this level of streaming or this way of making content. And I'm very excited about 2022 because we're going to have a lot more contents like this. All right. So I'm very excited about this topic. I have a guest. We're going to try to keep it short to be respectful of your time because it's also the holidays. You want to celebrate tonight and also to respect the guest time as well. So very quickly, I'm going to give shout outs. Hey, shout out to you, Joshua Epps. Let's go. How are you doing? Thank you for coming here and supporting the channel. DJ Flip, how are you doing? Need watch it. Shout out to you. Check out the collabs we had a couple days ago. And again, shout out to all my new subscribers, definitely my OGs in the chat, my wealth engineers, and I hope that you're going to have a beautiful year 2022. All right, so let's get into the topic very quick, guys. So, most jobs that make six figures, right? Most jobs that make six figures, with high money comes high responsibility, right? There's always something you have to trade to get this kind of money. And some of them you have to trade a lot of responsibility. It could take a lot of your time. Some of them, just like we learned with need watches, you could actually put a little risk on your safety, right? Even though there are regulations to help you, to protect you, but there is still a level of risk that you could expose yourself into, right? Now, what if there was a skill that you can learn, all right? That you can learn this skill, it's something that you're already doing. That's the beauty of it. You're already doing it either every day or every week, depending on how obsessed you are with having your house clean. But what if you could transform a skill like that into a six-figure job, or better yet, a six-figure business and profit after all expenses are paid, or even better yet, $1 million. But yes, what if you could transform all that into $1 million a year profit business, right? So I'm going to ask my guests those questions. What is this skill and how can we make money from this? So I hope you're taking notes. Get your notes ready. Please like and share this video as you come in. And let's get ready, guys. So without further ado, let me introduce to you my guest for tonight, the YouTuber Millennial Mark TV. How are you doing?
How's it going, Wealth Engineering? I appreciate you having me on your show.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you for coming here. So, for those who don't know, last week we were making couple streams on basically going to school, right? Or like going to software boot camp. things that skills that you can learn from the academic perspective that still make you six figures. But I wanted to invite you here today because this week is all about trading skills and other skills that you can turn into a profit. And I'm very excited about that. So, could you tell us a little bit about what you're doing? Just briefly, what are you doing? And let us know from there. Introduce yourself with the panel.
Absolutely. So, to everybody who's watching the panel, if you've never seen me before, nice to meet you. My name is Mark. I am the host and creator of Millennial Mark TV. My channel is about the floor cleaning and restoration industry, more in particular on the tile and grout side of that particular industry, tile and grout and natural stone. That's what I do for a living. I've been bringing people into my industry for multiple years, and I actually just discovered YouTube. So, you know, it's great to be here, and I want to see how far this goes.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, happy. I see the chat coming in. Shout out to you, OG Patrice. Happy New Year. Happy Kwanzaa. Peter Investor Ham. Shout out to you, my first sponsor from the public. So shout out to you and my OGs in the chat. But hey, thank you for letting us know. So that's what you're doing now. The cleaning service more on the grout and aspect of it. So kind of like, is it fair to say commercial?
Mhm. No, it's actually so what I do all residential. So,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
working for homeowners. And like I said, primarily what I do is tile and grout cleaning and restoration, as well as natural stone, your marbles, your porcelains, your travertines, those type of floors. Very, very expensive floors to install
Mm.
and very, very expensive floors to maintain.
All right, all right. Now let me ask you this. Bring me back into the high school days, right? The high school days. What were you thinking you're going to do to around these times to raise money as your career or to get income? What were your like job interests back then?
Well, it's so funny. So back in high school and even in middle school, I've always had a passion. I wanted to go into law enforcement. I wanted to be a police officer.
All right, all
And
right.
I did that as well. So, I
Oh,
joined the
okay.
police academy at 19 years old. And that was actually at the same time when I started my business. At that time, I was just doing it as something on the side just to make money as I was going through the police academy. But I did that job for 5 years. And, it was crazy because by year 3 of doing that, I got started at 19. By 20 years old, I was hired. I actually started working as a police officer because the department that I ended up getting hired and sponsored to go to the academy through, they hired at 20.
Mm,
But by year 3, like I said, my business was already in full spin. It was in operations. I was doing it just like I said, as a side hustle, but it
mm-hmm.
grew to a point to where I ended up having to hire people. So I moved 2 family members up from, I started my business in North Carolina in the United
Okay.
States. But I had family in Georgia. I moved up 2 of my family members to North Carolina, and they pretty much ran, the labor side of the business while, I tried to hold on to my career. But honestly, man, it just got to a point to where, just to be honest about it, my business was making me, were making the company about, what I would bring a year every quarter at my job. So, my salary for the year is what the business started making, quarterly. So that was my push to be like, you know what, I'm stepping over dollars to get the pennies at this point. I got to make a change. I had to break that mindset of, having a good job and just, sticking that out till I retire, because you know what, at the end of the day, money makes things happen, so that made me get out of that industry and focus solely on my business.
Stepping over dollars to make pennies, man. Sheesh.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that. I like this line. Every stream, I'm learning something. Man. I like this one. I like this line. But
Oh, it's a
man,
good one,
that's
stepping over
interesting.
dollars to get the pennies.
Yeah, yeah. But man, let me ask you this. So, I mean, from what I hear, law enforcement, you get a lot of perks. You get a lot of like. It's quite a. Is it a good salary in your opinion? Like, what would you say about
No,
that?
no,
No,
it's a
it's not.
horrible salary, but you do
Hor-
get perks. I mean,
Horrible
you
salary.
get, it's, I mean, for what you're doing, you're,
Mm,
even though, in life is not guaranteed every day, but even in that profession, it's definitely not guaranteed. So you have to keep that in the back of your mind as well. So, it's just one of those things to where, I mean, yes, the perks are nice. You get the benefits. I didn't have to pay for housing. I had an apartment during that time, and my apartment was free because I was a police officer. So the fact that you have a police vehicle that you're bringing home, You know, it adds to the sense of security in the neighborhood. So I didn't have to pay for my housing. You know, I was in my patrol car more than my personal vehicle, so it was rare that I even drove my car. So there's a lot of perks, but you know what really outweighs all of those perks, honest to God, man, it's just money. You
Mm.
know.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. I would think that, especially if you're putting, some, I would, in some cases, your life at risk in law enforcement, I would think that it would pay a little bit more than that. But when it comes to a point where your side business and it took you less than 3 years for it to make the same salary that you were making a year in law enforcement, you were making that a quarter. Wow, that's
When I got
crazy.
started in law enforcement, I was at $37,000 a year, and by year three in my business, we were doing that a quarter.
Year three. Wow, wow. This is beautiful, man. Okay, 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 man. We gotta dive deep. But before I dive deep, let me ask you this. I ask this to all my guests. Based on the high school's days, as you're learning, as you're excited about law enforcement, until actually where you are right now, you've been running your business for a while now. What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned along the way?
You know, just staying committed, man, because you know it was one of those things to where, you know, even though I was making the money and I
Mm,
was committed to my business, I was more committed to the idea of a career. I was committed to the idea of just, you know, being a company man.
mm,
And you got to be able to, you know, kind of really decide where you want to put your commitment because I've always been one to, you know, to commit myself to what I do. And you know, while I was doing, you know, law enforcement, that was great. I love the job itself. I love the positives that come behind it. But you know, it was one of those things to where, you know, I had to really kind of kick myself in the rear in a sense and say, you know what, am I going to be committed to this, or am I going to be committed to what's going to, you know, take me and my, you know, my future family to the next level? And you know, law enforcement was just one of those things that it wasn't going to be it, you know.
mm. Oh well, thank you for answering that, man. That's so that you're dropping gems right here. I agree with you. Focus on where you want you put your commitment, and I love to say this: no one is going to care more about you than yourself, right? So if you
Mhm.
could find a way to commit to yourself and pay yourself first, and what better way to do that with your own business? Then that's definitely the way to go. Shout out to you guys, and I see more people in the chat. Shout out to you. How are you doing, Paris Johnson? Okima, Happy New Year as well. Happy New Investor M, shout out to you. And very quickly, guys, I want to say, hey, I got the new shirt, Wealth Engineering. You see the new design here. It's looking beautiful, even better than expected. I actually designed this shirt live with you guys on the stream for my 1K subscribers giveaway. Some of you are actually receiving your giveaways already. So let me know if you can actually tag me on IG when you receive your shirts. Actually, yeah, right there. This is my IG, JC, the black guy. And then tag me there, guys, to whenever you wear it. But this is the design right here. If you wanna get your own, links will be in the description below, and let's get it from there. All right. So I love what I hear. I love what I hear. Let's dive deeper on the business aspect, Mark. Now, can you tell me a little bit more about exactly what you're doing right now? Like you said that you graduated to like having employees, and these are family members, if I'm not mistaken. Now, where are you right now? Are you like, do you have like more than two employees? Like, and could you tell us a little bit more about like maybe your business, your customer? You said that you were doing residential and also the employee side. What can you say more about that?
Absolutely. So right now, no. When I got started, it was family members. So now, you know, I've actually. So it's a funny story how you know I kind of transitioned in my business because when I entered this industry in the floor cleaning industry, I entered it as someone who was primarily doing carpet cleaning, and that's actually because of where I was located in the states. So on the East Coast, you got more carpets, you got more hardwoods versus where I am right now. I'm in Texas, and we have a whole lot of tile and grout and
Mm,
just a lot more solid floors like that. So, you know, when I was on the East Coast, you know, like I said, we did a ton of carpet, a ton of well, not hardwoods, but a ton of carpet. But you have a ton of hardwoods as well. So with that type of business model, you know, and those type of floors on that side of the country, you know, it's really easy to scale a business really quick because there's just such a plethora of those floors to where you know, with the right marketing and the right branding behind what you're doing, you know, it's easy to get those customers because you're not only dealing with, homeowners, you're dealing with renters as well. People are constantly moving out. So a lot of times you're going to have that feeding your business as well. By year 5, so, the growth of my business was explosive. So by year 5 is when I really decided that I needed to leave the police department. And that's when I did, because by year 5 is when we hit our first 7 figures. And let me go ahead and explain to you. So 7 figures, I know it's crazy, but you have to think
It's not
about
a
this.
rumor. I
So
actually heard that rumor in the street these days that someone in the cleaning industry was actually making 7 figures. 7 figures,
yeah,
for those who don't know, is actually $1 million, guys. So
right.
is that true?
Yes. So we hit our first million by year 5. And here's how
Good
we
for
did it.
you.
So we have to think about this. So when it comes to the industry that I'm in, each van, because you have to look at the van as a business. So let's
Mm.
say a van, you have to imagine a van being a storefront, right? Well, each one of the vans that you put on the road, you can have, usually for that type of model, when you're doing volume work, you're going to have 2 workers in your vehicle. So imagine that being a storefront. So you got a storefront and you got two workers who operate that storefront 5 days a week. Okay, well, that storefront, depending on the way your business is structured, each van that you put on the road, on average, is anywhere from 195 to $238,000 per year. So it's a numbers game. So each time you add a van, you're adding essentially another 195, close to $250,000 per year. Well, by year 5, we grew to 7 trucks. So we had 7. Now 5 of them were full time, running 5 days a week, and then I had 2 trucks, was my overflow trucks or backup, and just in case I had to take one off the road for maintenance. What I mean by overflow is during the holiday season, between Thanksgiving and Christmas is when we're busy. So the busiest. So those 2 months out of the year, it was nothing to have 7 trucks rolling. But like I said, by year 5, with 5 trucks running full time, was when we was able to do our first million. And here's another thing to keep in mind with the floor cleaning industry: the margins are incredible, even with employees. So even with employees, we're still talking about anywhere from 56% to 65% profit margins, because it's just such the margin is your equipment. Once you pay that off, the only thing you're continuously paying for is labor, and then your cleaning supplies, your floor cleaning solutions. So
Like your
you don't
chemicals
have.
and stuff.
Exactly. And we're talking about using pennies on the dollars for each job. So you may have a job that you're doing that's a $500 payout. And when you break the numbers down between 2 employees and, the solutions that you're using, you may be spending $50 to make $500, so then that's just one job. Imagine having 3 to 5 of those on your schedule per truck. It's all a
Mhm.
numbers game.
Man, you, I don't even know where to start, man. You dropped it, man. You dropped
You
so many
know,
games out here. But let me wait. I gotta find some more questions for you to ask. But basically what I heard, guys. This is what I heard, and I can summarize this. I think the thumbnail really summarized everything I just heard. For those who didn't see the thumbnail, so this is basically he's in the cleaning industry, and if I'm not mistaken, you're actually doing it residential, not commercial, which is even more
yeah.
surprising because I thought
Mhm.
you're a commercial. And then if you are in the cleaning industry and your disciplines, you can scale it well. Not only you're gonna bring the money, but you're going to have the car as well. This is like a nice Ferrari cars right here, and then you can clean it. You can clean it on your own. That's basically what I hear. So I gotta change that number. It's not just $100, 100,000 per year in profit anymore. From what I hear, it's a lot more, man. But it
Well,
seems
watch
that
this. Let
you.
me let me
So,
add something to that, because most people who I bring into this industry, they come in as what's called the owner operator, so they don't have employees. Well, for the most part, to get started, in the tile and grout portion that I'm in, the type of equipment you need to get you started, we're talking about spending $6,000 to $7,000. But on the tile and grout side of it, even as an individual, as an owner operator, your daily average is no less than 750 and upwards of $1,600 per day. And we're talking about working from 8 to 5, and your investment initially was upwards of $7,000 to get started. Now we're talking
mm,
about in the States. Now it might be a little bit more for like Canada, but I know plenty of Canadians as well. I think you actually met one on my stream. He's in the
yeah,
same industry that I'm in. He's an immigrant there from Bosnia, but he's doing amazing there as well
wow.
in Canada.
But let me ask you this, because maybe that's where I'm confused a bit, because I'm still trying to plug those numbers in. Like how is it possible to get there's high margin in this industry. But
Mhm.
what is it like when you say towel and grout, right? Like how is that? Is that something popular? Is that something rare? Is that something hard to do? Is
No,
like can any like someone in the cleaning industry, for example, like cleaning just the interior of a house, like those mirrors, a bathroom, and all that, can they transition to this industry easy or hard? Like what do you got to say about that?
they sure can. And it's one of those industries, and it's actually, well, it's a niche within the floor cleaning industry. And
Yes.
here's why. Most people, they enter into the floor cleaning industry the same way that I did as a carpet cleaner, because we know that there's carpet everywhere. Okay,
Yes.
it's a catch-all per se.
Yeah, and
So
they got a lot of dirt. They catch dirt all the time.
yes. So a lot of people enter this industry as a carpet cleaner, and that's what they get locked into. But they don't realize there's a lot of niche, services within the floor cleaning industry as a whole that yields so much more money. And it's just one of those things to where they just don't know. And also, it's a market that's untapped. And
Yeah.
when I say
I
untapped,
don't
I
hear
mean
any of that. I never heard, to
no.
be honest with you. I mean, you say it makes sense, but I never heard of the need for towel and grout cleaning supplies and all that. So we're
Right, and it's
learning.
one of those
Take notes,
things.
guys. Take notes.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I preach. It's called creating the demand. So when I people who find me and the way I advertise to them, they have the problem that I'm showing them that I'm correcting. In this industry, you're a problem solver. So
Mm,
when someone comes across my advertisement and they see a problem that I'm solving, it makes them go look at their floor and they say, "Oh my God, I thought I was going to have to regrout my floor. I didn't realize that there's people out here who can clean it and restore it." So it's one of those markets and one of those industries that is so untapped that when you tap into it and you start showing people that this is something that you can fix through a clean and not through actually replacing the floor and not through regrouting the floor, you got them.
all right, all right.
It's one of those things to where there's no one who has done it on a scale to where it's understood as a household need. And
Mm,
the beautiful thing about it as well is it's one of those services that you are working with people who have disposable income. You're working with homeowners. You're not per se working with renters. A renter would never
mm.
pay for the service. So you're
Yes.
even narrowing it down to a specific type of person who will pay for it, and they will pay
Top
generously
dollar.
for it. Because here's the thing: it's either clean the floor at this cost, regrout it at this cost, or replace it at this cost. And cleaning it is the lesser of those three evils.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And if you do a good job, a good of a job enough, it could actually look as if you replaced it with maybe cheaper material, but it's still better, right? If you're trying to re-rent it
Mhm.
to someone else, cleaning might do the work. Now, let me give a quick shout out to the chat. I see you guys are very active. Natasha, how are you doing? Shout out to you. I just turned you as a moderator, Natasha. Congrats on joining the team. You're doing the work. I see you doing the work here on those YouTube streets. So congrats on joining the teams. And as a moderator, you're also eligible to get one of these shirts for free. So Wealth Engineering, you can choose the black and gold or the blue and gray version if you want. I'll contact you on Discord so we could arrange that. But congrats again, and maybe that's your gift for the new year. Happy New Year! All right, how are you doing, Dante Gorno? By the way, guys, if you guys are want to cop one of these shirts for inspiration, I have a bunch of words here to inspire you, like cash flow, value investing, or business. Right? Take $50 and turn it into $500 every time you meet the customers. This is the type of games you need to know. And imagine if you're taking that 500 and you put it on stocks or crypto and turn that into 5,000. Right? Who's thinking? Exactly. So that's how we play the game, guys. That's why I make these streams so that you can get tips and tricks on how to do it. How are you doing, Dante Gurno? I haven't seen you here before, but thank you for coming here and supporting the channel. Please make sure you hit the like button, guys. Very quickly, Peter Investor M, shout out to you, sir. Always having questions for our guests. Insightful question. Do your guest business provide service to healthcare facilities? As this latter industry is the fifth in making billionaires. Healthcare, really? All right. So, well, you have any question about that? Maybe some of your homeowners work in the healthcare industry, but what would you say about that, Mark?
Yeah. So, going commercial with it, that's definitely another route that you can go. Personally, I stick to residential, and honestly, it's a very simple reason why I stick to residential. When you go to commercial, you're
Hmm.
waiting on checks in the mail. I like residential because I get paid at the end of the job. So all the
Hmm.
money that I'm making a day, it comes home with me that same day.
Yeah,
I don't like
simple
waiting
enough.
on my money.
Man, that's the name of the game.
Hmm.
But
So there's a lot of
have you
people
ever
who
thought of maybe one of if you have seven trucks, would one truck be dedicated for commercial and then six trucks will be commercial? And like, do you think there might be more revenue potential on the commercial side, or have you tried it, or what do you think about that?
No, absolutely it is. And so going back to where I was going with that story, and because it's going to make more sense why I'm in Texas now. So with that particular business, like I said, I grew it to seven trucks. We started grossing six figures. But even still, after grossing six figures, again, our profit margins were still right at about 58%. So we're talking about everything after everything's said and done. At that point, what life looked like for me was, I go to my warehouse, I get the guys off to work, and I go home. I come back to the warehouse at the end of the day, pick up any cash that was brought in, make sure everything, log all the miles and everything off the trucks, start the next day. But even at that point, I mean, you're still making over a $500,000 a year profit. That's net after everything's said and done, after everything's are paid. Everything's paid for. That's what you're bringing home at the end of the year. As the owner of the business. So again, great business model. Um, but what ended up happening was, the virus came along. It did slow down business just a little bit, but it was a funny thing that also happened. So at that point, it slowed down business a little bit, and I had an individual who was about an hour and a half north of where my service area was, and he had been wanting to come into my market for a long time and kind of plant roots and get expand his business down that way. But it's really hard to break into, especially for a company that doesn't have an established brand already in the area. So, he had pitched an offer back to me back in 2018, but I kind of shooed it off because, we were doing so well. Why am I going to sell my business?
Exactly right.
Now, I had aspirations of coming to Texas for many years. I was ready to get off the East Coast. I was getting tired of the rainy seasons. I was getting tired of all the pollen. I have terrible allergies. But you got medications and stuff you can take for that. I got tired of the cold weather. I hate the cold weather. I don't know how you do it in Canada. I could not do it. I salute you for that. It's just not a life that I'm going to do. But once business slowed down just a little bit at the beginning of the lockdowns, again, he came again and said, "Hey, man, the offer's still on the table if you want it." So I
Wow.
saw it as an opportunity. I said, you know what? This is my chance to go ahead and head on out to Texas. I took him up on his offer, sold my business for a sizable, profit, came down here. And I thought about, I was like, well, I got some money in my hand, I got a chunk of money. I'm gonna relax. I know I can relax for about, maybe 18 months before I need to figure out what I'm gonna do next. Well, about 4 months into not doing anything, man, I couldn't take it.
Exactly
So I
right. I hear
sold my
that so
business.
many times, man.
Yep. So I sold my business that was on the East Coast. I got to Texas and I said, you know what? I'm going to start up again, but I'm going to start up again and doing it a little bit different because here in Texas, you got more hard floors, you got more tile and grout, and coming with knowledge in the industry already, I know, man, for every $100 you can make as a carpet cleaner, that translates to about $350 minimum as a tile and grout professional. So I bought another truck, I got started, and here we are a year and a half later. I got four trucks. I only have two of them operating because now it's hard to find workers. It used to be easy to find people to work, and now it's very difficult. Um,
Yes, that's
you
the
know,
side effect of CV-19, right? People are getting
yeah.
checks online, so especially for the workers that you were looking for, they might seeing that those checks from Biden could be almost the same or appealing or something like that. So they
Well,
might
I
be
I think it's a little bit more than that. Personally, I just here what we're going through. I think people just don't want to work because I pay very well. And for my company because the margins are so great. It's nothing to
Mm.
pay someone $25-$30 an hour to clean. You know, I mean, we're talking about the kind of jobs that some entry level jobs pay to people coming straight out of college. With debt, you're talking about $30 an
You're
hour.
telling me,
How
man?
easy
I
is it to
know.
find a $30 an hour job out the gate? You're green. You don't even know anything about the industry. It's just it's a reset, and I get
Man,
it. You know,
give me a second because you came with the fire, man. You just went straight with the fire. You just crispy creamy. No, normally, I drop those gems around the 30-minute mark, but you just drop everything all at once. I love it. I love it. By the way, I'm teasing you. But yeah, I want to give a little bit shout out to the chat as well. How you doing, guys? Shout out to you, Getty Radio. Hope you're taking notes, man. This guy's dropping knowledge, and so make sure you subscribe to his channel. I'm going to drop the link to his YouTube channel as well, where you can learn more about this industry as well. So give me a second, guys. I'll get that ready. But let me acknowledge the chat. Sophia Sharif, I came in as number 9, like celebrating. Either way, no worries. Hit the like button. Wealth Engineering, guys. Absolutely. Jill Chocolate Boutiques. Happy New Year as well. You seems very fluent with the like language when it comes to like your profit margin and all that. Is that something that you would be able to answer also? Like, what is the operating margin and a year-to-year net cash flow? So if I'm not
right.
mistaken, the cash flow is after all expenses are paid, there's money that you still have in your pocket. So and net, right? So what would you say is the operating margin and net cash flow?
Going back to what I said, anywhere, depending on how you operate in your business, if you're operating with employees in this industry, you're still talking about, 58 to 61% profit margins. So after everything is said and done, you're still walking away with about 58%, of what the business itself grossed the entire year. Like I said, this is large. There's large margins in this industry, depending on how you enter it. Now, if you go out and, buy a bunch of brand new stuff, because you can come into this industry with an investment of $6,000 to $7,000, or you can go out here and get some stuff that runs you upwards of $100,000 that literally does the exact same thing. So it just depends on you. The ones that can get you in at the $7,000 price point, is more of the equipment for someone who's coming in as an owner operator, meaning you're not hiring anybody. It's just going to be you doing the work, versus some of the equipment that'll get you closer to that $100,000 entry point. It's going to allow you to do a lot more things. The equipment, at the end of the day, it all does one thing. It puts down water and it picks it back up.
Yep.
But there's some features. As with everything, you got a Kia that's 12,000. You got a Mercedes that's $100,000. But at the end of the day, they do the both same thing. They get you from point A to point B. In our industry, that's common as well.
Does the equipment that is more expensive, does that saves you time in any way?
Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
It does
You
save
can
you
get
time.
started. Oh yeah, you can get started, and you can set up and get going and finish a whole lot faster. But again,
but now you're going to have to say, okay, would I need to pay up to $80,000 more, or 80?
right.
Example, I don't know. You said 7,000 versus 100,000. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's quite an increase. So is the time that I'm going to save is going to be worth all that money extra? And from that perspective, what do you think? If you were making more, right, in
Mm-hmm.
terms of how fast can you get a job done, how fast do you think you would get that money back?
Well, I'm a frame that a little bit. I'm gonna frame that a little bit different and answer it a different way. Me personally, if I was someone looking into this industry and trying to figure out should I come in at the $7,000 price point
Oh yeah,
or upwards to 80, the lower price point, of course,
yeah,
because
lower
at the
for
end of
sure.
the day, you're going to be able to do the same job. And here's the thing, the equipment that's going to get you in at the $7,000 price point, the equipment is electric versus the equipment that is like $80,000. I mean, you got equipment out here that's powered by literal car engines. So it allows you to just, I'm telling you, man, it runs deep. No, like a key, like a car engine.
No way. Does it
Yes.
have a gas pedal?
No gas
Okay.
pedal, but it has a throttle cable, so you have to throttle it up. So on my
Okay.
videos, on my
Sheesh.
videos, one of the machines that I have, it's one of those ones that it is gasoline powered. It has its own engine, and it's like a $30,000 machine. And then I also have another one that I made a video of that I installed myself and put that unit together. And that particular setup will get you in the industry at about the $6,000 price point, and they both do the same thing.
Mm, mm. All right, let me
So
go. Let me go quickly on the comment section. I see many comments. Thank you guys for being active in the comment section, and make sure you hit the like button as you come in. Natasha, Pressure washing chemicals and great customer service goes a long way. Absolutely, definitely agree. I'm going to ask you about that customer service part later. Let me see. Also, a question again from Natasha. Do you affiliate GV joint ventures with companies who regrout or replace if your service aren't going to be enough for the client needs? I'm not sure what she means by GV, but
I know what she
did you?
means.
Okay.
Yes. So here's the thing. So yes, there's some situations that you'll run into where the condition of the grout itself is beyond what you should go clean,
Mm,
because you could actually cause damage to it if it's in poor condition. So yes, I do have people who I subcontract with, or who I know of that can come in and do a regrout service to take all the old grout out and regrout it. So yes, you can have people like that who are locals, who are usually flooring installers. So people who install tile and grout, those are going to be the people that you want to have some connections with, so that if you run across a situation to where it's beyond cleaning, you could sub the job out to them. And here's the thing: you make money off of sending people other work as well. So okay, you couldn't do it, but trust and believe, if I'm sending you a job that is one of my clients who I know would have paid me maybe $600 or $700 to clean that floor, if I'm sending that to you, and you might make 12 to $1,500 regrouting it, then they're going to give you a kickback. So yes.
absolutely. I mean, that's a great way to get business in.
Hmm.
Actually, let me see. J Bones, how are you doing, J Bones? Hi, happy New Year, man. We're almost there. Thank you for your support throughout the year, J Bones. Let me see. No worries. I see you get got promotion. Absolutely, Natasha. Well deserved. Well deserved. Let me see. Let me see again. Um, Oh yeah, really? What happened? Your shirt is being held hostage in the mailbox, but my daughter will bring the keys Mondays. Okay, no worries, man. Very excited to for you to receive it, and let me know when you receive it on IG. My IG, I'll put it here. It's a JC the Black Guy. It's pretty easy. It's kind of like Jesus Christ the Black Guy. Very easy. I'm joking. I'm joking. All right, guys. Let's see. Go very quickly to the chat. Um, yes, absolutely. Thank you for keeping the likes up, guys. Let me see. Peter Investor M question: since his business deal with cleaning materials and equipment, how do you mitigate the safety and health risks? Very good question. Very good question. Especially with chemicals. Do you have like a certain way to protect people from breathing it over time? Especially if you're doing it all year long. Like, what do you have to answer about that, Millennial Mark?
So the nice thing about the type of solutions that you need for this industry, you can literally work with stuff that's completely non-toxic, hypoallergenic. So a lot of the stuff personally that I use, because I am using it every single day, and my employees are using it every single day. Everything that we use is citrus based, because here's the thing: once you learn it, because you got to have a bit of an understanding behind chemistry as well when it comes to this industry as well, because really what's doing the job is the chemistry behind the cleaning solution. So anything that's citrus based, citrus has the ability to dissolve dirt and oils. Well, when you're dealing with tile and grout, what are you dealing with? Dirt and oils. So the products that you're cleaning with can be completely non-toxic and hyperallergenic. And to be honest, really, if you know more, a lot about chemistry, man, it's there's some stuff in your house right now that I could teach you how to mix in a bucket and put it on your floor and take a brush and hit those grout lines. And I could, it's all about the image, because
Wow,
really,
man. And
really with this industry, because it's all chemistry based,
yeah,
if it wasn't perceived as just unprofessional, I could come in your house with a bucket of cleaning solutions and a freaking shop vac and do the same job as I do with a $30,000 machine. It's just I
these
can't
are.
I can't show up with that because people aren't going to pay me what I want to make.
I think this comment give summarize exactly what I'm going through right now. Normally, I have this thing I do with my audience, right? Before we drop those gems, I have those things where I look at them in the eyes and then you just drop it. But you don't even give me time to do all that. You just go straight to the answer. But man, do you know what I hear? Right, like when I look at you, you have this like old soul wisdom with you. Like you have like this wisdom beyond your age type of vibe with when I hear you. And I know you also that translate into your work as well. Just your example alone of finding very cheap ways, safe ways as well to give yourself great margin in your business. So it's not by accident. Like from what I hear, it's not something everyone can go out there and make 500,000 or $1 million a year after 5 years. You have to be smart. You have to be kind of like not a hustler, but you have to
No, you
find
do.
ways, creative ways to come up. Because if you're going with what's being taught on a general perspective, what makes common sense on a like we here's you buy that $100,000 equipment, you're not going to make that much of a margin because you have to, and then you have your trucks as well, right? So man, but you seems to have found a way. Let me ask you this: did you had a mentor that taught you a lot of these, or did you learn it on your own?
So it's a mix. So I did have a mentor. I have a guy who, and he's actually a good friend of mine as well. And I actually brought him into the tile and grout cleaning side of this industry because he was actually in the flood restoration side of this business, and he was one of the strongest proponents as far as me coming to Texas because he was like, I spoke with him in my earlier years when I first got started, and I don't even know if I mentioned this earlier. I'm 28 years old. Like I said, I've been
So
doing
you
this
are a
since I was
millennial.
yeah, yeah, 28.
Sheesh.
But I did have a mentor, and he taught me about the industry, and I watched how he's been able to support his family for the last 25 years and the success that he's had in this industry. Now, like I said, he was on the flood restoration side. So if you have a pipe burst in your home, he's the guy that comes in after the plumber. When the plumber comes in and turns off the water, he's the guy that comes in and sucks up all the water and pops out the baseboards. And don't even get me started on the kind of money that industry makes. Because when I tell you that type of industry, you go in, you do your work, it takes you about 20 to 30 minutes to go in and suck up some water and maybe pop out some baseboards if you got some guys working with you. We're talking about $5,000 to $7,000 for 1 hour worth of work. Because here's the thing with that industry, your equipment does the work because after you go in and suck up the water, you
Yeah.
just leave fans and DUs in the house, and the insurance company is sending you a check for 5 to 7 grand, but your actual work amounted to maybe an hour, and you're making 5 to 7 thousand from that 1 hour of work. So I mean, do a
Sheesh.
couple of those a day. I don't know if you heard about the freeze that we had
You
here
do
in
it once a
Texas.
month, you're good. Like if you do it twice a month, you're basically what we're talking about 10,000 and up for
Well, watch this. Watch this. So, are you aware of the freeze that we had here in Texas last year?
no, no.
Okay, so there was a freeze. Like the state of Texas was like frozen. Like, we don't get those temperatures. So it was like, below freezing. And so
oh
the houses
yeah.
here,
Okay, okay,
yes,
yeah, okay.
yeah. So the houses here aren't even built to withstand that. So when I tell you, my equipment was frozen, we was having rolling blackouts. And so I started getting calls from people who were having pipes burst. And I couldn't even go to work because my equipment was literally frozen because water passes through it. So I couldn't turn it on. Well, his equipment, the way it's set up, and we don't even believe the weatherman at this point here because they lie so much. But I was frozen, he wasn't frozen. We went out, and this is going to sound incredibly crazy, but we went out and we worked, I mean, nonstop for about a week straight. Let me
Mm.
tell you something. It's amazing to make and me and him both, we did it together, and he broke me off very nicely. But I helped, and this is the guy that mentored me and got me started in this industry. But between himself and I, we were working together, over $200,000 made in 10 days, just sucking up water, going from house to house, sucking up water, dropping fans and dehumidifiers, going on to the next. 200 grand in 10 days. It was so bad here. The state was allowing out of state contractors who had a license in other states to come here. You don't even have to get a Texas
You
license.
guys
They
are
said,
the
let's clean this mess
military
up.
at this point.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, man. Oh, you're dropping it. You're dropping it too hard on me, man. Every word you're saying, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking my mom must be so happy that we're having this conversation now as opposed to like 10 years ago. Because there's no way I would hear a quarter of what you just said and go to university. Absolutely not. Why? Why? If you're telling me that I can make with a skill of learning how to clean, I would definitely take a chemistry class if that can make me more money. Absolutely.
Mhm.
And with that, man, you're making tons of money. We're talking about in the right time, in the right place, You got to make 200,000 in 10 days.
Well, he got to make that. Now I got paid nicely. That wasn't what I made. If I
Okay,
wasn't
okay,
on ice, I
okay.
would have made it. But I was literally on ice.
Thank you
It's
for
funny because I
correcting
was
that, but
frozen.
still, just the fact that
Yeah,
it's possible,
yeah.
right?
Oh, when the
Because me,
hurricanes
I don't
happened,
even know. I didn't know. I don't think anyone knew about this type of industry that I know. Like, did you guys know in the chat? Let me know in the chat. What did you hear about that? And if you want to know more about the industry, the tips and tricks, go check out this channel. Thank you, Natasha, for sharing the link on the chat. Yes, go check out Millennial Mark TV. He actually does streams where he talks more about the industry. But from what I hear, man, from what I hear, I'm wondering if should you even consider doing a course, man, like a pre-recorded course. Because you got some games there that not many people, even though they may have a lot of experience, but if they didn't start it that the right way, it's not that easy to find a mentor, especially in a niche that is not well known like that. Have you
mhm.
considered doing something like that in the future for people that might want to start and they can at least follow your tips and tricks on how to start with cheap investment and still generate huge income when it comes to that?
Mhm. I have, and it's actually something that I'm working on right now. So I'm actually going to be doing it through my Patreon. I actually got to set up my tiers now, but I plan on doing my mentorship through my Patreon.
Mm,
And part of that is pretty much from perception to inception. Getting people from the point of the idea to the actual business and showing them how to get started, how to advertise it, what equipment to get. Part of what I'm offering in that is a ride along. So if you're in my Patreon, you if you're gonna have to pay for your travel expenses, but you can travel down here to Texas. I'm in the Dallas Fort Worth area of Texas. You can travel here, and I'm doing I'll do a ride along with you to show you real world firsthand how to do the work, the interactions with the clients, everything. So
mm.
that's actually something I am working on at the moment.
Yeah, I think that answers your question, Sophia Sharif. She was asking about which part of Texas is she saying
Yep,
around the Dallas
yep.
area.
The DFW, the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex.
All right, all right. Hey, shout out to you, Friendsgiving. Shout out to you. I wish you health, more wealth, and lots of success for 2022. Friendsgiving. I love competing with her about super chatting. So to give more, she
Mhm.
encouraged me to give more, and shout out to you for that. I truly appreciate that those fun competitions we have. Truly appreciate that. But thank you for coming here and supporting the channel. Really appreciate that. How you doing, J Bones, man? How you doing? I see you in the chat. And yes, guys, man.
It's all a numbers game in this industry, man. Like I
The
said, I mean, $200,000 in 10 days sound crazy until you realize it only takes about 5 stops
yeah,
restoration industry to get you to $20,000. And what $20,000 look like in that industry, literally, is pulling up to a house, sucking up some water, popping off some baseboards, dropping some fans and dehumidifiers, and walking out the door. That's it. That's what $5,000 to $7,000 look like per stop,
yeah.
and it's
What do you think of
insurance
that? A
money,
little lemon, a little vinegar. It's funny because I mean, I'm from Haiti, right? It's not like we
Mhm.
have a lot of resources there, but in the Caribbean, man, we come up with our own chemical mix as well to remove stuff, and that
right?
reminds me of that lemon and vinegar. What are you
Well, she's
talking
spot
about?
on. She's spot on because here's the thing: once you understand the chemistry, a lot of the stuff dirt you're dealing with, alkaline. A lot of the stuff that you're dealing with on floors is alkaline. Well, lemon and vinegar is acidic. That's
Mm,
how you get rid of it. You tackle
yeah.
alkaline with something that may be a little bit more acidic. I mean, there's a lot of understanding of chemistry behind this stuff. But yes, understanding how alkaline and acids work will tell you everything you need to know about this industry. Just
Absolutely.
like when you're talking about urine, like I'll give you a good example, urine from an animal, it goes down on the floor, in an acidic state. Well, once it dries, the stain that you see on the top is the urine salts, the alkaline deposits. So how do you get rid of that? Acid.
Okay, I mean, because once you start saying urine, I was like, wait, what? I was getting all sorts of ideas with cleaning,
Mhm, mhm.
cleaning with urines, but no, you don't need to go there. But yeah, you're right, man. There are some smart, simple combinations. I I think that I think what the biggest I needed to hear this, and it's not that it's to be honest with you, like not I'm hearing you talking, and I'm like, that's an interesting business model. But I think what I appreciate from this stream that we're having right now, and I know we're going to cut it short. It's the last day of the year. You guys want to celebrate as well. But thank you for your support in the chat and also to respect of your time. We'll wrap it up soon. But what I'm hearing, guys, it's and I think I hope you're getting this from millennial marketing, what he's saying. It's not necessarily going the traditional way that makes you the big bucks. If you find ways to replicate the same results with cheaper options and go on the fundamental of what it takes to solve a problem as opposed to the solution itself, you go back on re-engineer that solution. Why is this happening? Why is this a solution? And you break it down into its core, then you can find other elements that can replicate the same results in his business. That's the difference between investing 7,000 to start versus 100,000 to start. And you could tell you invest 7,000 and then you make that in a month or in 2 weeks, right? Everything else you do after that, it's profit, and that's how you stay with high margin because your recipe, right? It's kind of like a
Hmm.
restaurant. It's kind of like everyone has their own recipe, their secret sauce, right? And it's the same thing, but once you put the sauce is different. That's what attracts the customers and get the results. But that's what I'm hearing from you. And then I encourage, if anyone would be interested in something like this, if you don't know what to do, you wanted to try out this type of business, make sure you subscribe to his channel or definitely his Patreon, because this is some valuable game. This is some valuable. I'm telling you, man. I was deep in engineering. I wanted to go in engineering at 16, 17, 18 years old. If I had like 5 minutes with you and then you told me anything like you just tell me now, like there's no way I would go to university. And my university
Right.
was cheap. Like I paid 1,500 a semester. It still took me 7 years before I could hit the market, right? In college it cost me $132. In university cost me 1,500 a semester. Still, man, still the time, 7 years to get to the market for to make like what 55, 60,000 a base salary, as opposed to like you start a business with $7,000 and then you start making profit right after. This is just beautiful. So take notes, guys. Shout out to you guys for taking notes. uh
And
absolutely.
realistically speaking, man, coming into this industry, you do your initial investment. It's all about you at that point. You have to be willing to do the work because the money itself is easy. The work is actually easy. You just gotta, you gotta be passionate about what you're doing. Because if you're passionate about it, the work itself is not hard. I mean, I got multiple videos on my channel showing the work. It's really, really easy work to do. And a lot of people, cleaning comes natural to a lot of people. So you get a bit of, therapeutic relief out of what you're doing as well. And it
Hmm.
also just so happens, to be making you a lot of money.
And you
It's
could
one of those
actually
things.
listen to a podcast as you hear it. You could listen to an
Yes,
audiobook.
there's a
You're
lot of
learning, you're
creators
keeping
who
your
get a lot
brain
of
with
watch hours
knowledge.
from me.
Sorry,
Yep,
what?
there's a lot of creators who get a lot of watch hours from me when I'm working because I'll put a headphone in and I'm just listening like to the leads live streams, like the whole stream during my workday.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
stuff like that.
This this comment make they say it so well. People struggle to make that in. I still haven't made it, and I'm trying. I've been trying hard to make six figures. This is the first year I made six figures. That's actually one of my goals for next year, make 200K. But man, this is
I actually just did a consult with a guy in Canada. He's outside of Toronto. He's been a carpet cleaner for a
is
long
it
time.
Brampton?
No, oh God, what name? It's something with an M.
Markham.
Um, it's a long name.
Oh, I think
Uh,
it could be Markham.
it might be. It's some name with an M. All I know it's a long name. But I never knew how much towel and grout was in Canada. He taught me something.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
it's apparently it's a lot, and he's
Really?
doing pretty good now. I put him on, and he's trying to transition his business over from carpet to hard surface.
Yeah, me.
Um,
I'm so lazy though that I don't think I would actually be doing it. But you know what? That's actually one of the question I had for you. Is this something that you can kind of like, let's say you're building your brand, you sell it. Is could have been could have one option would have been to create a franchise and then basically have like, franchisees and all that. Is that something that you think is possible in your niche and your industry?
Yes, but here's the thing. So I thought about that. Um, I'm so connected to my business and my brand, and I like to maintain the image that comes behind the work. So yes, it's very easy to franchise this type of business, but when you start putting other people in charge, the brand can kind of fall off just a little bit. So I've always kind of had the corporate structure in mind when I decided to do my business. I didn't really want to franchise it out, for the simple fact that I want to maintain. I don't know how much you know about Chick-fil-A, but they have the same type of model because they don't per se franchise. You know, they have individual operators who operate their stores, their units, but Chick-fil-A corporately owns it because it allows them to maintain and control and keep a thumb on those individual stores. And it helps, there we go. That one, that name of
Yeah,
that city
yeah.
right there. She
I
knew what I was talking about. I knew it was an M and it was a long word.
Yeah,
That city
yeah.
is where he is. Yep. Um, but yes, it's one of those things where I like to control the image of my brand. So yes,
Absolutely.
corporate is the brand, the business structure that I like to stick with. I add trucks. I move in to do markets, but as far as franchising and allowing somebody to kind of run their own, um, no, because like I said, I'm trying to maintain the brand itself.
Let me ask you this. I see a lot of question in the chat. What about this one? What is his business structure? I think you kind of alluded to that already, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, right? All right,
yeah,
right.
corporately owned, privately held, but it is something that you can. I mean, you can franchise it. There's a lot of people who enter this industry for the reason of just franchising, and because it's an easy business to start, and it's easy to scale. I mean, because here's the thing. That's one thing I was going to say earlier, especially after C19, the cleaning industry all of a sudden became sexy. Okay, no matter how much money you can make in this industry, people just didn't want to do it. But after that, it's like the cleaning industry is so sexy right now.
That is true. To
Hmm.
be honest with you, we started hiring a cleaning service because of that, right? I had
Exactly.
CV19. I hired it, and after that, I was like, man, this guy's doing such a good job so fast. I might want to do that every 2 weeks, because I'm
Hmm.
so lazy, man. I don't want to do it. I
People are more aware of the benefits of clean now. And the business, don't get me wrong, the business has always been great. Just the floor cleaning business alone is a multi-billion dollar a year business. But all of a sudden, and it was so crazy because if I knew the effects that C19 was going to have on the business, I wouldn't have sold mine on the East Coast because it was like right after, man. I mean, it was like the floodgates opened with work. And I was like,
Mm,
see, but it
mm.
was okay because
But
I'm
yeah,
doing it
yeah,
here. And I'm
you
doing,
still,
but
you
this is
still.
like one of the things like I can still have it going there, because the way I was operating it was, like I said, I was still the owner of the business, but I had an operations manager. So that allowed me to be completely hands off with the business. So I could just literally, like I said, go to my warehouse, get the guys off to work, and come back at the end of the day, collect money, go home, rinse and repeat every day.
All right, all right. Let me go through the comment very quick so that we can wrap it up. Millennium Mark TV. If you add teaching, consulting to providing service plus product, creating your own, man, well building facts,
you
facts,
know, he's
absolutely.
he's already he's a step ahead of me on some of the stuff that I'm already in the process of doing. I have a chemist. I'm actually getting ready to release a cleaning product line because I use them firsthand, so I know it works. He's I'm working on some stuff.
Man,
I'm working on some
hey,
stuff.
thank you for the work, Natasha. I see the talent there. You're doing the work, man. Very wise decision. Again, I'll message you right after the show so we can coordinate for the shirt. Make sure you hit the links also in the description, guys, if you want to get your own shirt. I see a couple of questions. I see a comment here I wanted to address. His business is so important because people who have home will always need cleaning and restaurants. I think I mentioned that earlier as well. Thank you. That's a very interesting comment. Thank you, Wealth Engineering, for the educational aspect because my 2 degrees are ancient. I need to involve absolutely people that are going to school now, not to, not to be a Debbie Downer, right? But you have to understand there is an influx of people going to university. A bachelor now is as equivalent as a high school degree, right? 30 years ago. If you had a high school degree 30 years ago, it's basically now is that's what a bachelor degree is, right? So if you're relying on your bachelor degree to make you a consistent income or high level income, you it's gonna take you a while, right? going to be a while, and the market and the entire industry could shift under your feet without you knowing. So you gotta be aware of that. I saw a question from Natasha. Let me see if I can find it.
While
Yeah,
you're looking for that, I want to speak on something you just said as well.
yeah. Go ahead.
The fact that there's a lot of people, who are leaning more towards going and getting a higher education and degrees. You know what that means? It means people like myself can make more money because there's a lot more people who don't want to do the type of work that I do, and they get in positions to where it's easier for them to pay people to do stuff. So again, capitalize off of what other people don't want to do. It
Guys,
goes back to what I said earlier, creating that demand.
I finally have an occasion to do it. Guys, let me look at you in the eyes as I say this. It's when it comes to making money, period. Doesn't matter if it's a job, doesn't matter if it's a business, it doesn't matter if it's stocks and crypto real estate. Do the opposite of what the masses is doing, you will make money. Period. Do the opposites of what the mass is doing. Understand the trend and move before the trend, right? If everyone's moving one way, and you understand the cycles, go the other way. Wait for them to reach you. You actually will have a skills, a value, you have an asset, something that is needed. It's the same thing that I do in stocks and crypto, guys. It's the same exact thing. I move opposite to the masses, and it always pays off. All right. So quick question right here. Um, for the floating, did you have to work with insurance companies?
For the flooding. Okay. Yes. So some of the jobs, so it's a mix because you have some people who reach out to you, who, they are homeowners, and this will be something that's handled by, homeowners insurance claim. So yes, you are working, with insurance companies. And then some people don't want to file it on the insurance and they'll just pay it out their pocket, you
Yeah.
know.
I'm
So
pursuing a master's, but it seems like I'm missing many opportunities. Absolutely. That's exactly how I would feel right now. I relate with what you're saying. Now, here's how you can combat that. That's one of the reasons why I make streams like this so that you can be aware. Now that can give you based on his experience, right? You can hear different niche, different things you might want to do, but do something on the side. Do something on the side. You mentioned it earlier in the stream, guys. If you missed it, you was saying prioritize yourself first, right? You need to understand who you prioritize yourself first, invest in yourself first before you invest in anyone else. And if you're working for your masters, it's because you want to help another business, right? You want to use that master so that you can beg for a job, and then that they hire you so that you could make them richer, right? With that said, as the same dedication you have to study your masters, put that same dedication in the skills that you can learn, whether it's for your own business, whether it's for your own side hustle. And I hope for now we've made 34 episodes this year, that you have at least a way that you want to do anything on side hustle. There's no excuse. I literally start this business, guys, in front of you for my 1K subscribers. This is
mhm.
zero investment. Zero investment, just the time, less than 1 hour. You can start a design like this and then sell it, just for you to expose yourself with business. You have a product, you need to learn the skills to sell, right? And one of the questions I was going to ask you, and I know we got to wrap up, but very quickly, what is your strategy to acquire customers, marketing, sales? How do you manage that, Millionaire Mark?
100 100% Facebook is where all my customers come from.
Wow.
Between if it's not repeat customers, if it's not referrals, all of my customers find me off of Facebook.
Oh, second. No worries, no worries. Um, do you do paid marketing, or do you do
Hmm.
just like a Facebook page and people just share your
No,
page?
paid marketing.
Paid marketing. All right, all right, all
Yep.
right, all right.
And just to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like, $900 a month to Facebook yields no less than $20,000 a month.
Sorry, could you repeat that? What?
A $900 a month ad spend equates to no less than $20,000 a month.
Sheesh.
Hey, look, I
How
don't
long
know if
have
you can
you
see the
took?
shirt behind me. Can you see the shirt behind me? I don't know if
Let me see if I
whichever.
can. Wait.
Me, hold on.
Oh yeah,
This
that
is what
one.
I
Yeah,
live
yeah.
by.
What's up?
That's what I live by. That's what I live by. I believe in, and I want people to get skills because here's
So
the
could
thing.
you,
There's
could you read
been
what it says? Sorry.
it says F a job, get a skill.
Mm.
Get a skill, man. I'm telling you, no matter what the skill is. I'm not saying not don't get a degree. I'm just saying find something that you can become passionate about and that you're skilled at doing. You know, just get a skill, no matter what it is, no matter what it takes. If you have to go get a degree to get that skill, by all means, do it. But
Yeah,
find a skill, find something that you're passionate about. You know, I mean,
absolutely.
the money's great. What I do, the money is fantastic. But I also just flat out love what I do. You know, I could have I mean, I could be just doing YouTube and doing consults and make my living off the internet, you know, teaching people how to get into this industry. But I also do this on a day-to-day basis myself because I love what I do.
And
You
it
know, the
keeps you
money that comes behind is great, but I love what I do.
off your game too. It keeps you updated with the market. It keeps you, know, if you have to do anything, it keeps you there. It keeps you sharp. Now, let me ask you something, man.
What you got?
Because I want to play the devil's advocate a little bit. If there is sorry, there is a noise or something that hits the mic. I don't know if yeah, maybe okay. So let's say right, if it's true that you can make that much money into it, how come not more people are aware of this business style? Like, how come people are not rushing to it as much as they're rushing to to getting their degree, for example? Or like, never heard of it, but how come it's so protected? Those information are so kept secret.
Well, you just said it because nobody talks about it.
Mm. And that
No.
is that what inspired you to make your own YouTube channel to talk about it?
Yes, because you know everybody. Again, when people enter the industry that I'm in, the floor cleaning industry, they always come into it as a carpet cleaner. Nobody talks about the kind of money that's behind hard floor restoration. But the few who are doing it, they keep very, very quiet about it because the carpet side of this industry is very, very flooded. And unfortunately, because it's very flooded, it
Yes.
affects the price point that you can charge because there's always someone else that someone can call when it comes
Yeah.
to this. And even on my videos, on some of my videos that I post, because on some of the videos that I post, you know, I'm in my real life customers' homes and doing interactions with them. You'll hear the customer say, you know, I didn't even know who to call for this. I didn't even know that this was a service that people offer. So when I was just sitting on Facebook scrolling and I saw some towel and grout go from dirty to clean, it was like, I don't care how long it takes this guy to get out here. I need that because most people who hire me for the service that we provide have tried to do it themselves. And you know how they've tried it? The same way everybody does. They'll get on the floor, they'll scrub it with a toothbrush, they'll get about 4 squares done and say, to hell with this, I'm not doing it because it's too much work. And then here I am showing up on their Facebook feed, you know, showing a video of some towel and grout going from dirty to clean. Got them. I mean, that's just it. You got them.
That man, as a, you know, I mean, I don't call myself a businessman yet, but as someone who's very interested in the business, I love simple yet powerful ideas for business, and I love being in a niche where, like you said, I don't even know who to call. I did not even know this is a
Mm-hmm.
service that is
Mm-hmm.
that is offered, but I need it. Things like this, man, makes my head spin. Because let me ask you this.
Well, you got to think about this. You got to understand the power behind how people spend money. Most things we purchase in our day-to-day lives, we purchase off of impulse. We purchase things that, you know, we didn't even realize at that moment that we had a need for, but because we saw it, we was like, oh wow, I need that. So it goes back to what I said earlier, creating the demand, whatever the demand is for what you're doing. You know, if you don't see a demand for it, how about trying to create it? And so that's what I've done. And it's if you were in some of these spaces that I'm in, when on Facebook and a lot of these cleaning groups, it's amazing how, you know, once I really started showing people what I do, because, you know, I just sit back in the cut and I just watch. But once I start putting out what I do, you know, it's a well-known fact in this industry that, you know, the towel and grout side of it and the hardwood side of it is big money. But people don't know how to acquire the customer. So when I started showing how I'm doing, you know, 3 to 5 jobs a day per truck, and people are like, how are you doing that? I'm like, oh wow, wait, everybody's not doing this. Oh, maybe I said too much. Let me just step back and be quiet now. But
Yeah,
that
yeah,
encouraged me to
that,
create a
that,
YouTube channel because what I'm putting out there has already changed so many people's lives, either individuals who are coming into this brand new or individuals
you
who've
just
been,
hit your 1K subscriber basically this week. So
yeah, off of
imagine.
25 videos, off of 25 videos in 3 months.
because that's what I'm
So
saying, man. Maybe, man, start use the YouTube as marketing for your business, but put a paywall into it, man. It's
mhm.
just too.
I'm already
I
making
know
money off my
value when I
YouTube
hear it.
channel.
I
I'm
know
making money off
value
my
when I hear
YouTube.
it, and what I hear is basically the secret is the knowledge, is the knowledge behind what you're saying. Because someone can try to
Mhm.
replicate the same thing without the mentorship, without the knowledge, they will not get the same result, right? So that is
Right.
extremely valuable, and there is a reason why those people who knows it, they don't talk about it, is because they want to keep that edge, right? They want to keep that advantage in the market so that they can acquire more and make more money for them, but of course less money for others, right? So if you do,
Mhm.
there is a way you could find a balance, and we'll definitely put a paywall behind that because, man, what I hear, trust me, I understand, I know value when I hear it, and what I hear is powerful today. I'm happy it's free with on the channel today, but
Mhm. Well,
I
no, it's definitely a paywall behind it because here's the thing. I mean, anyone can start the business, they can buy the equipment, but the one thing that people don't understand how to do is to acquire the customer for this particular service because it's
mm,
so doggone niche. But here's the thing: once you learn how to do that, which is part of the stuff that I teach, because again, there's a paywall behind it. And my channel's already getting monetized, just not by YouTube,
yeah,
but my channel
oh,
makes me
I
money
know
as
what you
well.
mean. Yeah,
Um, but it's one of those things, man, to where you know when you really show someone and show them in real life how untapped this market is and how you can come into this thing and not even put no fluff behind it within your first 18 months of being in this industry can go from whatever you're making right now to no less than $165,000 a year if you're in one of these markets where you got an overabundance of tile and grout floors. It's a no-brainer, even if it's not something that you personally want to do, as a job for yourself. This is so easy to replicate and just train someone on how to do it. And I mean, you can just live your life. You
of
got
course, and
somebody, maybe a
especially we're
family
talking about
member.
especially if we're talking about residential homes, man. There's
Mhm.
and not that enough. There's so much. There would be so much opportunities out there,
It's
especially in
more
the
work. I turn
summer.
down more work than I accept. Let me tell you,
Sheesh.
if I had workers for all four of my trucks right now, which is one of my goals for next month, is to have people in all four of these trucks. And then I can finally get off the one that I'm on because I got two running and I'm on one every day as well. So once I'm able to get off that truck, I mean, you're talking about four trucks. My trucks do anywhere from no less than 750, but usually on average $1,000 to $1,500 a day. You're talking about making upwards of $6,000 per day. And what is it going to cost you to make that $6,000 per day? Well, let's break
Gas.
the numbers down. You put two people in the truck, your labor costs may be costing you anywhere from 300 to 350 a day. You're going to be spending about maybe $75 in gas. In your chemicals, you're talking about for the whole day, you might spend 15 to 20 bucks in chemicals. We're talking about spending $400 to $450 a day to make $1,000 to $1,500 per day. So again, it's putting you at that 60% profit margins. You can make $600 per truck per day. Four trucks, that's $2,400 cash in your pocket every single day. That's
Man,
over
splash it on me,
$10,000 a
man.
week, and that's profit. That's net. That's not
Net.
gross. That is net. $10,000,
Eesh.
every single week in your pocket, and you're sitting at home.
Splash it on. Look.
Splash and dash.
I have two questions for you. I have two questions for you before we wrap it up because I know you said that you
Okay,
wanted to leave early, but I'm just having more fun. I wish I could have you longer to have this,
we
but
can do another show. We can definitely do
oh
another
man.
one.
But let me ask you this one second to last question I have for you, because I'm already looking into a franchise right now in the GTA area, Toronto area, right? I live in Montreal, but honestly, if I would do business, it would be in the Ontario area. But I know myself. I'm a lazy man. I'm lazy. But what I hear, man, I would actually willing to cut that net profit to like 300 as opposed to 600, but just so that I can hire someone else to do a lot of that for me, and just do the marketing and sales. Like that's what I would focus on, and then have a not being in a truck myself. Um, is that something you think is a good way to approach it, or is it better to just start it on your own first and then? What would you say about that?
Most definitely you need to start it on your own because what you don't want to do is because you're new to the industry, you don't understand the industry, you don't want to be learning as you go with
Mm,
employees, because if they go out here and screw something up, you need to know how to fix it, and if you don't know and they don't know, you're going to be in trouble. So I would say someone coming in who really don't want to work the business per se forever, which I mean, I'm passionate about it, but I don't want to work it every day. You know, I sometimes I hate working it every day. You know, it's good money behind it, but I just really want to put some bodies in these trucks because, you know, being a business owner, you know, it's hard to scale a business when you work for the business because at that point you just gave
Yes.
yourself another job. And
Yes.
so I've always understood that, you know, ever since I entered the world of business is when you work for the business every single day, you essentially just gave yourself a job, a high paying job, but it's still a job.
Yeah.
Yes, you are a business owner, but it's hard to really, you know, experience what is, you know, that life of a business owner when you're working for the business every single day. And you know, I had to put in the work. You know, I was doing it. You know, I'm back in the truck now, but you know, once I hit my seven figures and we grew to seven trucks, I wasn't in the truck for, you know, 2 more years. And let me tell you, it's a much better life not being on that truck every day than it is in that truck every day. Not because, you know, not because of the money, not because of all the other perks that come behind it. It's just you really get to grow that business when you're not committed every single day to the day-to-day operations. So yes, I would recommend anybody coming into into this industry, just give yourself a strong 18 months to really learn it. You know, you're gonna have to work hard. You know, it's gonna be a lot, but 18 months. I mean, people commit way more time to that than that to college to go out here and then try to figure out money. Commit yourself to 18
Facts.
months of learning this business, then put other people to work. I mean, because
Facts.
again, the cleaning industry, there's a reason why there's so many cleaning franchises because it is a very, very easy business to start and to scale and to hire people for. And I mean, and not the house cleaning business. I mean, that's a great business as well, but the margins on that is terrible. I wouldn't really recommend that one. But floor cleaning, oh my God, like there's
Mm.
so many niches within the cleaning industry. And the floor cleaning industry is a niche itself within the cleaning industry. And when you go even lower, well not lower, but you go even deeper into it and niche it down to just hard surface, specifically either hardwoods or tile and grout, so much money because there's so many people. It's like, you know, I only do carpet. It's okay, stay right over there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, man. I wish you would come closer and look at them in the
Uh-oh.
eyes before you drop all this knowledge, man.
Look at
She.
them in the eyes.
This is a nice way to end the year, guys, with a powerful stream. Man, I know it's short, and I wish it was longer. But last question I have for you before we close this. So sorry, guys, I won't be taking any questions in the chat anymore because we have to respect his time. We actually went a bit 10 minutes than expected. But last question, I needed to ask you this. What are your general opinion when it comes to this industry moving forward? Like, let's say 10, 20 years from now, the industry that you are doing on right now, what are your general opinion? What do you think will happen? Like, what's the trend do you see?
I mean, it's only up from here. I mean, floors aren't going anywhere. You still have to walk and live on floors every single day, and they still need to be cleaned. It ain't going nowhere.
Absolutely, man. With that said, man, I think that's a great way to see it. And man, more constructions, more renovations, more
Hmm.
need for floor cleaning. All you gotta
Hmm.
do is a nice 30-second video to show exactly what you just said. You have three options. All of them are expensive. Here's how you can reduce your expenses for the homeowner by just
Hmm.
by having a cleaning service. Bam, you put your contact there. Oh wow, you educating the customer, you're acquiring a
Hmm.
new customer right away. Summers in here for us, summers would be a great time to make lots of money with this type of business, and then you chill on the winter. I'm going to think about it, to be honest with you. 18 months, I think I can do it. I can do it. I'm going to think about it. I might do because especially with my franchise that I'm looking into, it's kind of automatic. I don't even have to be in a franchise. There's no need to
Hmm.
hire any employees. So it's pretty much like another way I can get some cool income as well, and it will be in a Toronto area. Could be in Mississauga as well. So we'll look into that. But man, oof, oof, you dropped too much knowledge here. You got
Oh man.
a lot to think about. Lot to think about. Thank you very much, Millennial Mark. So just give me a second if you want to hang out on the back end quickly before we part ways. But I'll close the stream right very quickly. It won't be long. All right. So, but
Okay.
thank you very much. Please drop the link to Millennials Mark TV if any of you are interested to learn more about this. Thank you, Natasha. If please to drop the link again, please. But yeah, if any of you guys are interested to learn more about this industry, what it does, listen to one of his streams, or even join his Patreon, guys, where you can get more knowledge, mentorship like that. It's very important to have a mentor, someone who can accelerate that learning curve. And honestly, I'll be thinking about it, but should I make this move? Hey, I'm going straight to you, straight to you. So thank you for sharing the link, Natasha. And I hope you took notes, guys. I hope you took notes. What I want you to get out of it is, hey, you need to find a skill that can get you the six figures as fast as possible. Whether it's a software bootcamp, if you're passionate about that, or a trade skill. We talked about being an electrician earlier this year. That could you could get paid 40K to go to school, and then and then get a job, get a skill that's going to pay you 100,000 and more, right? So that's one way. Or you could literally learn games from someone who's doing it already, and take a $7,000 investment and turn it into a gold mine. But I hope you understand the logic. Go where the masses is not there, where it's needed the most, and do opposite to what the mass is doing. Take notes, guys. Make that money. Find ways to multiply it even faster, and then find ways to keep it. I hope, Millennial Mark, that you invest in stocks and crypto as well. If not, I'm your source for that. We can do another stream on that. But with that said, guys, happy New Year! Thank you for everyone who's going to who was here supporting the channel. As Cashflow Hunter says, we have Soup Jumu waiting for us, Asian tradition way on January 1st. But thank you very much, guys. We're going to tackle 2022 with a lot of streams like that again. So thank you for your support, and we'll see you on the next year. Bye.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Boss, yeah. JC, bring that fire. Mentally taking you higher. Get the cash flow that you desire. Building that wealth, I should call you sire. You about to run it, I know it. We steady growing, this is the moment. You gotta subscribe, cause you don't wanna miss it. Wealth engineering, it's time to get it. Wealth engineering. Stacking and stacking it up. It's time to generate wealth. Till you living like Scrooge McDuck. Hey, wealth engineering. It's time to show you the game. Till you living like Richie Rich. Till you ballin' like Bruce Wayne. Hey.